Hey, welcome back to Explore Aspen. I'm Ginna Kelly, and this is the Green Girl feature where I interview environmental leaders in our community. And today I am very excited to have Piper Foster with me here today, who is the executive director of the Sopris Foundation and also a campaign strategist for Energy Smart, which is a project of CORE. And she's going to talk to us about one of her passions, renewable energy, which is one of my passions too. So how's it going today, Piper?
Hey, Jenna, great to be with you.
Well, thanks so much for stopping by. And just to get started, so everyone knows, what is renewable energy exactly?
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, I think examples of renewable energy include solar, wind, biomass, which can also include biogas, geothermal, and hydropower.
Okay.
And the reason we call it renewable is because it comes from an inexhaustible source.
Right. Okay. So it like replenishes itself, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk to us about your current interest in financing renewable energy, the feed-in law, otherwise known as the clean contract.
Oh, Jenna, this is my favorite topic, so I'm glad to tell you about it. But when we think about renewable energy, typically in the United States, the conversation is, what's a tax credit? How can you provide an incentive? But there's a new idea that actually started in California, but has been widely implemented in Europe and now in 70 countries around the world.
Wow.
And the way this contract works is that anybody who wants to produce power, whether it's solar power or a share of a community-owned wind farm, has the right to install that power, connect it to the grid at the utility's cost, and then sign a long-term contract at a reasonable rate of return so that they can create assurance and security for the next 20 years that they're going to have an effective, a cost-effective product. And the impact on jobs is outrageous. So in Germany, for instance, 80 new jobs a day are created as a result of this contract.
Wow, 80 new jobs. That's a ton of jobs created every day.
This is about economic development.
Right.
Renewable energy aside, this is about economic development.
Exactly. And you're working on a project here in Colorado to see if this could be a statewide effort. Is that correct?
Exactly. We introduced a bill in the legislature this February, and we're pursuing this effort to see if maybe there are people that are curious about it and want to support it with us.
Wow, that's really awesome. And I've also heard you've been in Berlin for a while. You were studying there and learning, kind of comparing and contrasting the land use planning going on in Europe that promotes renewable energy. So tell us about your time in Berlin.
Oh, I feel so grateful. It was a really fun experience. Berlin's a dynamic city, and there are lots of young people, lots of artists doing cool things. But my research was looking at how land use planning can help steer, encourage, properly site renewable energy. So we think about the battles we've had over Castle Creek Hydro. We think about the battles over solar farms in our area, and going wider even to Cape Wind in Massachusetts. So it's like a clash of values. We think we want renewable energy, but where do we put it?
Right.
And so there are a lot of methods and tools that are being used across other parts of the world, and particularly in Europe, that we can replicate and model here.
And so you think we can take some of those tools that they're doing and apply them here in Aspen and the Roaring Fork?
I hope so. I think there's a tremendous opportunity to create a community-wide conversation and to vision about what renewable energy means to us. Where do we want it? Do we want greenfield solar arrays, or would we rather have them on brownfield? Would we rather limit it to rooftops? Or if a proposed development is going in, is that the best use of that land, or would it rather be a wind farm? And I tell you what, the basis of all of this is a concept called energy mapping, where you take a territory like the Roaring Fork Valley and you ask, okay, how, through scientific inquiry, what's the wind strength? How about biomass resources? And from there, derive policy.
Okay. And also, you keep very busy by sitting on the Roaring Fork Biomass Consortium. So talk to us, what is exactly biomass? I know a lot of people kind of wonder when they hear that.
This is my favorite power source because it's baseload power, which means it's not intermittent, it's constantly working. Biomass typically comes from woody sources like trees, shrubs, even lawn clippings.
Okay.
Or waste wood from the construction sector. Or it can also include biogas, which is anything that ferments and decomposes, like municipal compost. Okay. So what the Roaring Fork Biomass Consortium is looking at is to say, how much biomass do we have in our area, and can we use it for energy, being heat and electricity?
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be a viable source here?
Yes. In fact, we had a conversation with our consultant that's helping on this project last week, and we said, Tad, how does it look? And he said, oh, I have no doubt. You're definitely going to have enough to create 1 to 2 plants.
Wow, that's awesome. Very exciting things going on. Well, thanks so much for stopping by and talking to us all about renewable energy.
Oh, it's
today.
A pleasure, Jenna. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks again, Piper, for talking to us about land use planning in Europe, biomass, and so much more. We really learned a lot, and we hope to have Piper back in a couple weeks to talk about the Energy Smart program with CORE. So we'll have lots more with Explore Aspen in just a minute.